there everyone, I was watching a Patreon video for Michael French, retroplasting. I'm not going to get into the subjects, it's a paywall video, so you want to see it, go pay for it. But honestly, Michael French has one of the best Patreons ever, so it is worth your time, believe me. But he was at one point he was talking about collector flex when they show off their shelves, and instinctively I looked at mine. There's a shelf on my desk behind my computer that is part of my desk, and I have a ton of figures up there. But this is mainly what was in my eye view when he said that, and I just laughed because I was like, it's weird. It's not a flex, but the two up front, you're obviously going to notice something. Okay, let me run down the cast of characters. This is mostly what was. There was another Superman. I should have put Ironmonger back here. That would have fit. When I was putting this together, I didn't think it would fit. If you're wondering, the reason I don't show my desk, I've got a pile of stuff behind it that I'm using for storage right now, and I can't. It's a mess. I'm embarrassed by it. It's just there for the time being. Hopefully I get to move it soon, but I've been saying that for almost a year and a half, so that's where I'm at. Okay, but let me share with you the cast of characters here. Batman, that's Moth-X, import, nice wire cape on him. Crusader Batman, that is the Batman I grew up with. That's the one I wanted. Excellent figure. I've talked about it. John Nada, from They Live, done by Mattel, WrestleMania, WWE Goes Hollywood line. It was the second line. He was the hardest one to find. Fetched some premium prices on the secondary market, and then I found him in an antique show an antique shop for $20. So I was really happy when I found him. Then they re-released him, but that's beside the point. Race Maythaler, that's a Mythic Legions, nice cape. I really like this figure, even though I have my issues with Mythics, and I have my issues with this figure, but overall I really like that figure. Tony the Tiger, I just recently bought. That's where Tony ended up, because I just wanted Tony somewhere in where I can see him. Dr. Doom, my absolute favorite Marvel supervillain. And Warriors Hawk and Animal. Oh, Doom I've had for a long while. But anyway, beside the point. And that's the retro carded Doom, by the way. And I've had him for a long while. I do like that figure. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad. Then Hawk and Animal, the Road Warriors ringside exclusive, Unsanctioned 2-pack, I think is the name of the line. Okay, so now that we know, and this, I did a video on him. It's Beast and Monsters line. It was a cheaply done line. Jim Largo turned me on to it. I ended up buying all of them. But that's my favorite, is that little robot right there. He's just so much fun, and he fits with everything. He really does. He just fits with everything. Love it. So I got him in the center of my desk. Because I was sitting there thinking it needs to be something, stands out in the center. And I was like, oh, there we go. And there we are. It was almost better than William. But that cost me $8. And I was looking at it going, yeah. Okay, this is all modern. There's nothing here that isn't modern. Everything here is modern. I got this 3 years ago. I got Tony 6 months ago. I can't remember I want to say 4 years ago Doom came out. And Wraith, I think, was last year. Batman, I think, is this year, actually, maybe. I don't know. I know that came out a while back, but I did buy them on the secondary market. So, maybe 8 years. Hawk and Animal. Now, I don't have any vintage on my desk, really. I don't have... The only older figure I have is over in the farther right, and I had to go look at it, on the farther right side, because the desk is about, say, 3.5 feet. Well, it's the same as this, almost. Hellboy used to be over there, but yeah, way over on the side there is, on the right side, is my Legendary Heroes Conan. That's probably the oldest figure up there. He would be 20 years old at this point. I mean, I'll just run down a couple of the figures. I mean, I've got Marvel Legends Crossbones, the original Crossbones. Not the original. Did they do an old one in Toy Biz? I don't even know. Huh, good question. I'm pretty sure they did. This is the one that I think 2017 was that one. I got Storm Shadow there. I got, of course, Matt Murdock Ninja, Daredevil Ninja, Spider-Man, Armored Spider-Man, Thanos, Warduke, and Strongheart. Anyway, what's the point of all this? Anyway, I was just here. It's like there's no flex here, right? Even with having the 2 premium figures, there's not really a lot of flex here. There's no reason to flex. I don't get people who flex about their toys anyway. It really kind of blows me out of the water, because it's like, so you bought a lot of shit. And, you know, it kind of heads back to those people who, you know, I love toys. Dude, I love toys too. I'm also not a sucker. I mean, yes, did I pay a lot for this one? Absolutely. What is different about this one? It's Japanese. I mean, this is a Japanese toy. Basically, the people who purchased it had to purchase it at retail and resell it here in the States. I don't like that. Don't get me wrong, I don't like that price. But at least I can explain that price. I got some little indifference with 4 Horsemen, but I paid that price for this one. I paid that price for some others. I was willing to pay that price in some instances. I do still have my issues with some of their pricing. You know, again, everything else here, I think that set was $55. I did think that was a little much, but it's the fucking Road Warriors. I'll pay the extra $5 for the Road Warriors. And no, I didn't get both sets. I know a lot of people got both sets. I was like, okay. If they had spaced them out, I might have done it. But I really just wanted the Road Warriors in one way, shape, or form. So I said, okay, give me the Road Warriors. I'll take them in their more traditional garb of the red and black. And I was done. I just wanted the Road Warriors. And that's my favorite tag team of all time. Probably. Anyway. Doom, again, my favorite supervillain. I've got so many Dooms that ain't funny, but that's where this Doom, you know, there's another Doom. Yeah, he's probably hidden, but he's right back there. Secret Wars Doom. I've got God Emperor Doom on my bad guy shelf. I find an excuse to leave my Doom figures out, is what I'm trying to say. But of the ones I've gotten, this is my favorite. Has issues, but hey, you know, it's the best. I feel it's the best Doom that Hasbro ever made. That's not saying a lot. Anyway, again, but you know, I'm looking at it going, okay, you know, there's no flex here, even though I got premium. So what is it with these action figures? What are their purposes here? And it's like, it's simple. They Live is one of my favorite. Is probably my second or third favorite movie of all time. It changes, you know. I mean, you could ask me tomorrow, and you know, I'd say The Thing is my third favorite. I mean, that happens from time to time. It's my mood, but I absolutely love They Live. I'm enamored by this figure of Tony the Tiger. It's just so fun. I never knew I wanted a Tony the Tiger action figure. I felt the same way about Chester Cheetah. So that's where we're at with that. I'm dealing. You know, again, just like the look of that figure. Let me see, is that the only... That might be the only Mythic I have on my desk. I'm double checking. Yeah, that's the only one I have on my desk. I had a Cosmic Legion that I put over there. I have a Savage Crucible on my desk. It's the black lizard with the white stripes. So, you know, again, I'm not afraid to put these guys on my desk. But, you know, this is still probably my favorite figure from Mythic Legions. I don't think that's going to change very easily either. Just really like that figure. And past that, I mean, you know, that's just it. It's stuff I love. And I do rotate it out and I do change it up. I mean, I do think, you know, Tony might go away. You know, this is kind of like, I still really cannot get over how much I like the idea of having a Tony the Tiger figure. I think in 6 to 8 months, that might wear, and I'll still be happy I have it, but I think I might move him. So that's always a possibility. This guy, I keep him up there as this reminder of not everything cool is expensive. I mean, that's not to say you gotta go cheap. That's to say that give it all a look. Don't sell it out because, oh, it's in the dollar store. It's below me. You know, if you do that, you've got some issues. Okay, but I think he's an awesome figure. Yes, is he cheap? Absolutely. Yes, is articulated limited? Yeah. But you know what? So what? He looks cool. That's all that matters with that. He looks fucking cool. I love the way that robot looks. And you know the other thing about the lacking articulation, he's a fucking robot. I mean, robots don't move like humans anyway, so it's gonna be okay. I mean, no big deal, man. You know, but I just wanted to do a kind of video, just rambling a little bit about, I just thought that was a funny image of these figures. What did they say? I think it says a lot about me. There are certain things I'll pay more for. Yes, I will. Fully agree with that. Do you want a list? I don't have a list. And I'll tell you why. Sometimes I don't even think about it until after I see it. I'm like, oh, that. You know. Prime example over here. I never knew I wanted a Watcher figure until Marvel Select released a Watcher figure. And then I missed it the first time. Then somebody gave me a good deal on it. I was like, okay. I never knew I wanted a Watcher figure until that thing came out. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So, again, sometimes you don't know what you want. And that was a good example right there. And I was seriously just looking, right there's the Watcher, dude. I mean, the Watcher is the best example you have of this. Because the Watcher, I want a guy who watches. That'll be an action-packed adventure. And that's what you would say if you don't know who the Watcher is. So, beyond that, I mean, again, I just collect what I like. And things that have really, this year, hammered that home to me. I went through a bout of what I have always called FOMID. F-O-M-D. This was when the piles and piles of Ollie stuff was there. I was afraid of missing a deal. I haven't, but you know, there are some things. You know, there are a few things I bought in not wanting to miss a deal that yeah, I didn't want, anyway. The biggest example is that Thor the Dark World Thor. I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? I didn't want that. There's a couple of Build-A-Figure figures that I bought too that I'm like going, okay, I wouldn't have bought those unless they were both at Ollie's and had the Build-A-Figure I wanted to build. But like the Collector Wave or the Zabu Wave. And I am going to try to get rid of some of those, but I'm not confident on, and I'm not telling you which ones right now because I'm still deciding. So, you know, there's a couple that are borderline. Say it that way. I could keep or I could get rid of. So let me stew on that for a little bit before I decide. You know, but I know there was a couple from the controller wave. I'm trying to think what other Build-A-Figure wave it was. Puff Adder and Zabu. Those had a couple of figures. I'm like going, I would not have bought that unless, you know. Couple from Ursa Major. But you know, when I bought them, I knew I was getting a depreciated value. So there's that. You almost guess who I'm talking about with that one. Yeah, I mean, you know, one thing that's always good is when, you know, there's a Build-A-Figure you don't want. But I wanted a damn controller so bad. Oh, and I wanted Bone Breaker so bad. That was the other one, Bone Breaker. Holy shit. Yeah, those guys I wanted really bad. So, yeah, there's a bunch of dudes getting ready to go. All of those, there's a bunch of dudes getting ready to leave. And still, I mean, that happens. It happens in the collection. I think all of us go through that. You know, it's like, okay, I gotta purge some of this shit. It's just too much. And you gotta think long and hard about what it is. Because, as I just realized looking up at my Battle Cat and He-Man, there's some things you just really love. That Battle Cat and He-Man from Masterverse take up a ton of fucking space. But I ain't about to get rid of them. The Headless Horseman takes up a ton of fucking space. I ain't getting rid of him. I like him. All these wrestlers, all these vintage collection, all these guys down here, my Avengers, my X-Men, my bad guys, my Action Force, my G.I. Joe as I still work to redo it. Yeah, they all have meaning to me in different ways. And I really like them. Just like I like Tony the Tiger. Or Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, you know? Or any other things I like. I like my orcs. I like my wrestling. I like, yeah, I can go on and on. But the point is, I am refocusing my efforts to do stuff only, you know, the stuff I really want. Hopefully, we've seen the end of Build-A-Figures, or at least for a while. And that'll prevent any like, oh shit, what do I do with this figure now? Maybe. It's been a while. Zabu was the last, right? I'm looking over at Zabu thinking that. Technically, well, maybe the Void. No, Zabu was after the Void. Okay, so, yeah, we haven't had Build-A-Figure in a while. We're getting those shitty comic books. And that's driving the price up, which means I'm not buying as much anyway. So, ton. Yeah. But that's a discussion for another time. Alright, just wanted to get that around and be done. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.